Red Bull Salzburg, a controversial club based in Salzburg, formerly known as SV Austria Salzburg. They were purchased by Red Bull Supremo Dietrich Mateschitz in 2005. Gone was the violet and white, and in was the red and white. The purchase caused an outrage and even caused fans to form a new rival club. They, with the help of Red Bull's backing, have become one of the biggest clubs in Austria and have managed to establish themselves as a bit of a talent production line, often unearthing gems to sell on at a profit. With Red Bull Leipzig being the biggest club in the brand, can we overtake them and use Red Bull's money to join the elite? Let's find out and rebuild Red Bull Salzburg. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Frankly FM84. A big thank you for coming and joining me on another video right here on the YouTube channel. If you've been here across the past couple of weeks, you would have seen that the rebuild challenges are the big things that we have been doing recently. We take 15 episodes to go to a club, try and rebuild them and see where we can lead them in terms of success and how we can leave the club in a lot better of state than what we take over in. You might have seen that in recent times we've done Celtic, Paris FC, Wolfsburg, St Etienne, Newcastle, Wolverhampton Wanderers. So moving around Europe as a continent, going from place to place and trying to rebuild these clubs. 9 times out of 10 they become a success. When we do ones like Paris FC and the aim is to just move them a lot closer to Paris Saint-Germain, I feel that we had a lot of success in doing that too. So hopefully today we are going to take on another rebuild challenge that has big potential. We are going to go out to Austria and we're going to take the reins at Red Bull Salzburg. Yes, the Red Bull train steered by Dietrich Mateschitz has been putting a lot of its money and a lot of investment into its footballing operations. You may know that they have the 2 clubs in Brazil, in Bragantino and Red Bull Brazil. They also have the New York Red Bulls up there in USA. They also have Salzburg in Austria, which was their first club, and they have Red Bull Leipzig. So Leipzig are the biggest ones of the operation. Salzburg are more of a feeder club for them, and the ones from South America are just picking up the talent that is moved across to Europe, and their networking is absolutely fantastic. So what I thought we would do is try and step out of Leipzig's shadow in Europe. We're going to go in, give ourselves 5 seasons, 15 episodes to go and break them down, jump ahead of them in the pecking order and become the dominant Red Bull brand club. So how are we going to do that? Red Bull Salzburg themselves have been building a reputation of finding these young talents. They nurture talents. They then sell them on for big profit. So I thought what we would do is try and follow suit. Now I know we're going to start the game with some of the best wonder kids and some of the favourite players that everybody goes to sign. We are going to try and cling on to them for dear life and use them to the best of our abilities. Benjamin Šeško is going to be the main man up top. Obviously, is it going to be difficult to hold on to him? I absolutely believe so. But what we are going to try and do is complement that. We are not going to try and sign players that are over the age of 21. We are going to try and sign some of Europe's best talent, nurture them. And then obviously with Salzburg not being the highest reputation club in Europe, we are probably going to lose quite a few of the players as we go along. But then it's how we deal with that turnover of players and how we are going to try and slot new players into the positions that are vacated by the players that move on. So it all sounds so simple. Red Bull have got bags of cash. They've got loads of potential in the squad as it is. All we have to do is steer the ship and hopefully get us to the end by winning lots of Austrian Bundesligas and also going and winning the odd Champions League. Simples, right? Maybe not. Let's jump into the game and show you the club then. If we hit the club info page, as always, to give you a little rundown of the club, you can see Fußball Club RB Salzburg. So a little bit of copyright issues going on with Salzburg. They're not allowed to be called Red Bull Salzburg in European competition, so they go by FC Salzburg. They are also RB Salzburg. Yeah, very different way of looking at sponsorship. The club themselves can't even go by their proper name, but they have been a successful club. We have a little rundown here, so you can see they are currently sat second in the league, so I presume that means that they had either finished second in the previous season or it's just where they've been generated. Professional status is obviously professional. Media prediction is first, obviously with all these wonder kids, Mr. Adeyemi, Roko Simic up there as well. We have the aforementioned Benjamin Šeško, to look forward to. The club really is a club that is going places. So the estimated value is £93.18 million. As I said, some of that is Red Bull's own investment. Some of that is players they will have bought in, nurtured and sold on. I mean, in real life, Karim Adeyemi was the preferred choice to go to Dortmund to replace Haaland. So it's those kinds of players that we are going to have to try and cling on to if we want to make this a success. Their reputation is 3.5 stars. As I said at the start of the game, Salzburg, even though they have a good reputation in Austria, maybe on a worldwide stage, they aren't the most recognisable ones. Red Bull Leipzig obviously being the ones in the Red Bull brand. That is the first club that most people would think of. Training facilities, 4.5 stars. You can see why they are producing all the players that they are. They have world-class, state-of-the-art facilities. Youth facilities are 4.5 also, and youth recruitment is 5 stars. So as I said, they have the best of the best to go out and find all of that young talent to bring it through and then hopefully build them up. And normally in real life they would move them on. We want to try and hold them as much as possible. So fierce rivals: Wacker Innsbruck, SV Austria Salzburg, historic, FK Austria Vienna, and Rapid Vienna. So pretty much all of the teams that would be disgruntled that Red Bull had pumped all that money into the club. Other rivals: SAK 1914 and Sturm Graz. Sturm Graz are an established team, and it says the other team are a local team. So you might have seen at the top there, we have gone in as manager. Not too sure what's happened to my avatar, where my lovely hair has gone. They've made us a baldy on this one, but hey ho, we will go with it. Our captain is Mr. Ulmer. Our vice captain is Januzovic. Then we've got Karim Adeyemi as key player, and hot prospect is Roko Simic. Yeah, as I said, this side is stacked with young talent that is just waiting to burst through. Looking at their honours, 12 Bundesligas. So only starting recently: 07, 09, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So obviously that second place there isn't based on last season's standings because they would have won the league. All that success, I presume that Football Manager classed them as a standalone club, but if we look down here, SV Austria Salzburg is the original name of the club. So Football Manager kind of doing the little reset and making it just so that their history is their own history. 8 QFB Cups, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20 and 21. So becoming the dominant team in Austria. It's a surprise when they don't win the cup. We have our nice kits on display over here. So then let's have a little look at some finances and see what we have available to us. Now, as ever, with these challenges, we want to assess the squad and we want to go through the first half of the game with no transfers. Transfer window will be shut, which looks like we have a zero transfer budget. But if you were playing the game the way it's intended to be played, Salzburg would have quite a hefty transfer budget for you to go and spend. They have £30.2 million in the bank to start you off. They have a wage budget of £342,000 and they're spending £318,000 of that. So a nice little gap there. And they are on course to pass Champions League financial fair play. Down to the club vision then. Whoa, this is massive. So club cultures then. Sign players for the sign players under the age of 22 for the future. That's what I was saying about bringing the players in, developing them, and then potentially moving them on, although we want to keep them. Develop players using the club's youth system. Again, sign them young, develop them, put them in the first team. Sign high reputation players. So that kind of contradicts the top one. Not too sure how that's going to go because if you want to sign high reputation players, they are not normally under the age of 22, but hey ho, I suppose we have Mr. Haaland, Mr. Mbappe, those kinds of players that come through at young ages and are high reputation players as well as younger players. So they want Ghanaian players and Malian players. So obviously strong links to African countries. They have had players come through from those countries in the past. And I suppose they just want to try and capitalise on what they have got. I do believe Red Bull have invested some money in Africa. So that is where that link up is coming from. Sign players under the age of 20 for the first team. So under the age of 22 for the future, but under 20 for the first team. Play high tempo pressing football, play possession football, play entertaining football. Do not sign players over the age of 28. So kind of all ties in with itself as to where they want to go. They know the identity of their club. They're always going to have younger players and they are always going to look to sign the potential players that are going to be first teamers It's going to be a bit of a challenge to hit all of those boxes, I think, but we will have a go at getting most of them ticked off. They want to maintain the best youth system in the country. That's fine. Maintain the club's status as the most reputable team in Austria. That is also fine. And they want us to work within the wage budget, which we have already started off with. They want us to be competitive in the Champions League. Not always sure what competitive means. Presume we're in the group stage. They want us to at least not lose 6 out of 6 in the group stage. They want us to win the Bundesliga. That comes as standard. If we weren't winning the Bundesliga, not too sure what I would be doing in the job. They want us to reach the final of the OFB Cup at a minimum. They want to develop the Admiral Bundesliga's best youth system. Put my teeth back in. Too many Beth and Beths. And then at the end of the 22-23 season, contract gets renewed, continue to win the Bundesliga, and continue to develop the youth system. So that is pretty standard going forward. As I said, we already know the challenge ahead of us in terms of wanting to go out and buy the best youth players, also to develop them from within the club, and don't sign players over the age of 22. So all of that is pretty standard. We go to the squad and we have a look at the assistant report. Let's just see what he thinks our best lineup is. Obviously, we have a little bit of insight because of playing Football Manager. I mean, if you've never played Football Manager before and you've never heard certain names in this list, you probably are a bit late to the game and might want to start looking at these players, but you're going to notice that the names Cone in goal, Ulmer Woba is a player that everybody probably signs, Soleil is a player that gets chased by everybody, Christiansen is our right back, then we've got Seawold in the middle, Bernard, Junozovic in the middle, we've got Okafor, who's another player who gets chased by a lot of teams on the left, Karim Adeyemi, who is, as I said, Dortmund's preferred choice in real life to Haaland, and then they have Koita up top. If we just go into the squad, and in fact, no, let's show you the squad depth and just show you where it all sits. So starting at the back here, we have 3 goalkeepers on the book, Nico Mantle, Walker and Cone. Left back, we have Woba, who can fit in there. We also have a few players out on loan. Bernardo is a player who is over the age of 21, but the other thing that I am going to say is that if the player is already at the club, I don't want to force out the best players. So we will sign players under the age of 21, but only use players above the age of 21 if they're already at the club. So we got Soleil, Valsi, Woba, Bernardo, and Christiansen. And Christiansen is our best right back. So probably a gap there to have a player in behind Christiansen. We've got two, 3.5 stars on the left. We've only got 1 3.5 star on the right. In terms of defensive midfielders, probably a little gap there to be able to go out and buy some players, but we do have Seawold, Capaldo, Junozovic, Ulmer and Christensen can also play there, so a bit of versatility within the squad. In terms of the central midfielders, Seawold, Camara and Sucic all fit into that. Wide left, Adeyemi, Okafor, Aronson. Aronson being chased by Leeds. I think they might have just signed him in real life, so if so, we're going to see in the Premier League exactly what he's about. On the right hand side, we have the same blend of players. And then up top, we have Adeyemi, Koita, Benjamin Šeško, Rocco Simic. So because he's the only one that we haven't seen, here is Mr. Šeško. If you haven't heard of Benjamin Šeško, he's about to become the transfer saga of the summer. I believe Manchester United, Chelsea and possibly another English team are all interested in him. He scored against Liverpool in a pre-season friendly with a well-taken goal, and he's the kind of player that a Tomadira or a Maxim Sigalko are all built off from the old CM games. He has been a wonder kid now, I think, for the last 2 games, and he never fails to disappoint. He is absolutely fantastic, and he's only going to get better at the age of 18. He's 6'4". He is quick with 14 pace and 15 acceleration. He will destroy defences on his own. This kid is amazing. Right then, I think that is pretty much going to be it for the first episode. If we have a look at the schedule and see how it has come across, we start off with a few friendlies. We then go into the OFB Cup first round and then kick off the Bundesliga season. And that means that we are going to push forward in tomorrow's episode to the end of the January transfer window. So we're going to skip the summer transfer window because we're not taking part in it. We are going to go straight to around the 2nd or 3rd of February, which means the January transfer window will be closed, and with any business that we are going to do, we will catch up on tomorrow's episode. We will also show you how we have got on in the first part of the first season. Right then, If you're still here and you're still listening to me at this point of the video, firstly, a big thank you. I really do appreciate it. And secondly, if you haven't hit the like and subscribe button already, please consider doing so. So much content on the channel, and it helps me to bring so much more out to so many more people. I really do appreciate you taking the time to do that. But for this one, I'm going to end it there. Please go and view another video on the channel, and I will see you very soon.